I get it. We lost the Super Bowl, but everybody's counting us out. Everybody's saying this is it. Everybody's saying that my Eagles cannot get back in 2023. And there are many reasons for this. And I want to get on here to explain how I don't believe these things that people are saying is going to hold us back next year. So let's start with the first reason why everybody's saying the Eagles are done and won't be back. And that's because the Eagles lost both their coordinators. Now I get it. Losing Shane Steichen is a loss. And he definitely played a big part in Jalen Hurts and this entire offense turning around. But let's realize who the replacement is. Brian Johnson is now the replacement, will be the new OC of the Eagles. He's known Jalen Hurts he was 4. He's known that entire family. And when you look at where Brian Johnson was before, he's been all around the block in many places. And when you go back and look at who he was in college, Brian Johnson's a guy who has a lot of respect. I believe he's going to be a head coach one day. And trust me, we are in very good hands with Brian Johnson. He's going to be able to take this offense maybe even further than Steichen did. And then on the defensive side, yes, Jonathan Gannon is gone, but that is not a loss at all, trust me. And me personally, I think our defense last year was good in spite of Jonathan Gannon. And now Sean Desai's in the building. And honestly, I didn't know too much about him, but anybody's better than Gannon, so that's already a win. He was a safeties coach, I believe. I don't exactly know where he was a safety, but he was a safety coach, which would be big for guys like CJ Gardner-Johnson. From everything I've seen, I like the hire, and I definitely think he will be an upgrade, bring new ideas to this defense, and it'll help it be where it needs to be next year. So there we go. That's why I think we'll be fine if we lose both our coordinators. So the second thing everybody is saying is we don't have much cap space, and we have so many free agents, and what are we going to do? We're going to lose a bunch of guys. And yes, we will not be like the Buccaneers who won the Super Bowl and brought all 22 starters back, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing and that will get worse. I understand some of these guys will go. That's just a part of it. We do have to re-sign Jalen Hurts, but the good thing is that extension won't kick in until 2024. So Howie, who really built this team off one-year deals and bringing a whole bunch of guys in, can do the same thing again. I imagine Bradbury will be gone, but again, that's not a bad thing. We can draft the corner because we have 2 first-round picks. We'll see what happens with Jason Kelce and if he retires, but we've already been preparing Cam Jurgens, so if he has to move to center next year, I'm sure the team will be fine. Obviously, you can't replace the Jason Kelce, but I'm sure the offensive line will, with Jeff Stoutland as the coach he is, they'll make it work. Obviously, signing CJ Gardner-Johnson to me is a must, and it seems like the organization agrees. I think they're going to work towards that and get that done. TJ Edwards, for me, is the kicker. I don't really know. I really like TJ Edwards. I love how he flies to the ball. I get he's not the best in coverage, but I love what he does for our defense. But at the end of the day, I don't know how the money's going to work with it all, so we might end up losing TJ Edwards. Again, wouldn't really want to, but I kind of understand we might have to. But that's the one guy I think I would be worried about losing. I don't think we're going to lose Javon Hargrave, at least not now. I think they'll get something done with him to where he'll stay another year. So yes, we have $8 to $9 million in cap space right now, but with all the restructures that Howie's going to do, they could get up to $33 million, which is more than enough for them to replace some of these guys that we are going to lose. And then the third thing everybody's saying, we're giving Jalen Hurts all this money. Well, look what happened to Dak and the Cowboys. Look what happened when we paid Carson Wentz. And look, Jalen Hurts, I can refute this with just this point. Jalen Hurts is not Carson Wentz. He does not have the mental makeup of Carson Wentz. And we look at what Jalen Hurts did this year, who we were with him and without him, he's shown he could carry a team. So yes, when you pay a guy, you will lose pieces. But I think Jalen Hurts is one of those top 5 quarterbacks to where he can make it work with a little less. And look at what the Chiefs did. Patrick Mahomes, they moved his money around where they could still keep Travis Kelce and still keep some of those defensive pieces. Howie's such a genius with money. We'll be able to do the same thing. And I think Jalen Hurts will kind of structure his contract to where we can do some of those things. So yeah, I've been seeing these things go around about how the Eagles are done and how the Eagles won't be back. And I'm not saying we're going to get back to the Super Bowl, but I do believe we have one of the brightest futures in the whole league, especially with 2 first-round picks this year. All I say is draft well, sign the right free agents, keep the right guys in the building, and I think we'll be right back into contention next year.